Hey guys, Toasty Box here, coming at you with another Pixel Tamers video. Quick shout out to our Instagram account called Pixel Tamers. I Pick You Pocket runs that, does a great job with it. If you haven't checked it out, you should totally check it out. We post tips, let you know when a new video comes up, and just some cool Pokemon builds. Second thing, if you're on server 19 like me, feel free to join our guild. It's called Legends. Just message me in the world chat. Friends list is currently full, but trying to make space for newcomers, so send me a friend request as well and I'll let you know. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about Pokemon builds, as well as how I'm getting diamonds, because everyone loves diamonds, right? Like I can blow through 100,000 in a day, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So kind of how I'm spending them, how I'm getting them for free, that type of stuff. So first thing I'm going to hop into is the diamonds. The way I'm getting them for free, there's a couple ways. Technically it's free, technically it's not. I did purchase the permanent VIP card, which was $20. I've gotten probably a month's worth of diamonds, 200 diamonds a day, plus some other stuff. So it's definitely worth it in my opinion if you plan on sticking around and investing your time into this game. Another way to get diamonds for a cheaper way and kind of efficient but slow is the VIP cards. I always buy the gold VIP card since it does give diamonds, as well as it gives extra XP for when you're AFK or actually playing the game. It just increases the rate in which you level up, as well as getting Pokemon XP for your Pokemon to level up. So I think that's a great way to do it. For a way to get free diamonds. Now, lower tier players, it comes at a slower rate, but you still can get them for free. The way I'm getting free diamonds currently is mostly from the arena. So currently in the arena on server 19, there are some whales trying to take my spot away, which they have successfully. We have a pretty competitive battle, so it's fun. Me, K-Man, Plastic Kid, even Tomp a little bit's competitive, so it's always fun. But depending on where you place in arena, you get arena points to spend on your base stat stones, as well as you get diamonds. So I think first place is like 200 diamonds, which isn't a lot, but if you're there every day, it's very consistent. Now, if you're on a newer server, it's easier to get that spot, therefore easier to kind of keep that spot, but ultimately it's going to be a pay-to-win situation. People who spend more are more likely or have a better advantage at becoming rank 1. Another spot that I get diamonds is from the solo Pokemon. I'm using Jirachi there. Really effective Pokemon, has heals and a damaging ability, so hard Pokemon to get, but really effective. I think again for first place you get 200 diamonds from there, or maybe 150, as well as I think you get a few diamonds from your rankings in the Pokemon typing masters. So using all psychic Pokemon or all grass Pokemon. I haven't really focused on that area of the game. I feel like that's more of a late game kind of dominated market, just because I'm focusing more on one team PvP, focusing on a comprehensive team that's going to be able to do what I want it to do, as well as counter other people's teams. And to do that, you can't always have the exact same type. I know I had a lot of Dragon Pokemon before, kind of switched away from that because their moveset and they were getting countered in arena, and better Pokemon came out. So kind of whatever you got works. Just try and place as high in that as you can, and you can get a few diamonds from that. Other places I'm getting diamonds for free. The cave expeditions. Now, it's not very much. It's honestly kind of a diamond sink for higher tier players, but you can get up to 50 if you're the first person to clear it. If it's been cleared by 10 other people that specific stage, like stage 1, stage 2, so on and so forth. If multiple other people have cleared it, the diamonds you receive from that are less. So it's kind of just like a passive goal. It's just something that I am not actively trying to do. If my CP and Pokemon team get better and strong enough to be able to take it on, that's awesome. I can get some diamonds for free, but I'm not trying to build teams specifically to clear a stage yet. I am past floor 100 as well as a few other people on my server. I'm not quite sure what it goes up to, but it's a fun competition again. Another spot I get it from is the general clear, like stage clear, you're just out in the open world walking around and you have those random stages you can clear. I don't think you get them specifically from clearing the stages. Actually, I'm almost 100% certain with that. But there's two ways that you get diamonds from that. The first way is the event that they have going on. If you're within the top 10 people on the server to clear X stage, then you get X diamonds. And this goes up to stage 3000. So I got quite a few crystals from that, or diamonds, quite a few diamonds from that. And then as well as, depending where you are in your server, based on how many stages you've cleared, you get diamonds for that. If you're, I want to say in the top 50, you get a certain amount of diamonds. Again, it's not a huge amount, but all of these kind of add up. So I get them from there since I am rank 1 for stage clear on server 19. I want to say I get 100 diamonds for that. And the last place you can get diamonds is from the world boss. You can get them from being one of the 3 lucky people on the server, being gifted some pieces for whatever world boss it was that day, some red crystals, and 100 diamonds. The other thing is if you place in the top 10 on the world boss for the day, you get diamonds from that. And I think, again, it's 100 diamonds. So 100 diamonds isn't very much, there's things such as the rank ups, the star ups that I talked about last week using the blue and red crystals that can eat up easily 50k diamonds for one of them for one Pokemon, which is like $500. So it's not a lot that you're getting every day, but if you get them every day, it can kind of fund your everyday activities. So now what I'm going to talk about is kind of where I spend these everyday diamonds that I'm getting. First place I go to spend these is the EXP 2-hour speed up boost. So since I am VIP 12, maybe 13 by now actually, I get 6 chances a day. And what that does is that means 6 times 2 is I get 12 hours of EXP for my character, as well as Pokemon EXP boosted throughout a day. So pretty much I turn my 24-hour day into a 36-hour day of auto running. Now that's really strong because the people that don't do it are losing out on 12 hours every day or X amount of hours every day, and that's going to add up. The second place I'll spend them if I want is on the daily dungeons, the solo dungeons, if there's multiple seal cards from the solo dungeon that I'm clearing, because those seal cards are very important. I do need to do a video on those, which ones I think are viable and kind of how they work. That'll probably be the next episode. But what those are is you kind of put them in your equipment, and depending on how many of the same type of seal you have, it gives you a percentage or a specific number boost to HP, evasion, crit damage, damage bonus, special attack, physical attack. So it's a really strong mechanic, and the people that do it and actually get these cards and use them properly are going to be able to have their Pokemon boosted pretty far. And the last spot I'll kind of use diamonds is in the cave expeditions if I'm rerolling for a certain bonus to try and clear a stage. Like I said, I'm using cave expeditions more as a diamond sink than a way to earn diamonds. Just trying to keep rank 1. K-Man's pushing me pretty hard, so trying to keep it up, but fun competition nonetheless. And once they bring back team dungeons, I will use it in there. The ending rewards, getting the X level red gear, is pretty important as it can boost your CP anywhere from 0 to I've had a boost of 50k before, so it's a pretty big item, and I think it's a good place to spend diamonds if you aren't lucky enough to pick it on the first time. So hopping into my Pokemon and Pokemon builds, I'm currently trying a little bit different of a thing. It was pretty big to toss all your good Pokemon into the assisting, and then the meta Pokemon on Team 1 to boost their stats. So I'm trying something different to counter that. So my build currently is a little bit different and may not represent the best build. But I'm going to talk over some of my key units. Since I do have 12 of them, I'm just going to talk about a few of them, not to waste all your guys' time, because it's kind of a general process. And since it is Pixel Tamers, you don't have to follow the meta. You can build them however you want. And there's going to be stronger builds that come from people like you guys listening that get creative and try to do something different. So my first one is Jirachi. I used to have it on a damage build. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I currently swapped it over to a tanky hybrid since its wish ability does go off its special attack. Its super psi heal is just a flat percentage of everyone's HP, which makes it a really strong move because you can focus 100% on tanking up the Pokemon. And it doesn't have an attack spell which heals and does damage, which is nice. So I wanted Jirachi to be this tanky bruiser hybrid that's going to be hard to kill in solo Pokemon King, as well as be able to heal my Lugia so that my Lugia can tank more and reflect more damage. So since it does have abilities based off its special attack, I put in the special attack Magmortizer. Probably pronouncing that wrong. I'm not the best at it. Boosts its special attack by 8%, which is the key thing, but it also has a chance to burn enemies. So kind of nice, kind of a little bit extra damage, but nothing really special. Second item I put in there is the Deep Sea Tooth. Just a flat 12% boost to SP. So most of the items on my Pokemon are red items because they give the most bang for the buck, because you only have 9 slots on your Pokemon. It's hard to have a really good all-around Pokemon. You have to kind of be specific with what you want them to do. But you also want them to be a bit tanky, at least I do. So then the tanky items, I gave it the Red Herb, which gives 15% boost to HP, which is great because its passive is a 35% boost to everyone's HP. A really important tanky item that I think could or should be on every Pokemon is the Adamant Orb. Now, it's not amazing because it does have its flaws because it only lasts 2 rounds. But for those 2 rounds, the first 2 rounds, where everyone's at, where all the Pokemon are at full SP and going to be doing their big damaging moves, it boosts its special and physical defense by 50%. So it's going to make it really tanky for first 2 rounds, and it's only taking up 1 item slot. Another great tanky item that I wish I could put on there but didn't have is the Assault Vest, 15% special attack or special defense, and the metal goggles for the 15% physical defense, because I want it to be able to tank everything since it's kind of my healer. The last item that I have on there, that's a red item, is the berry. Second to last item, is the mystery berry. What this does is recover SP by 15 every round, so really good because just allows the Pokemon to do more moves before its SP is drained, and then turns start getting skipped. The last item that I do have on there is the Metronome, 12% speed boost. It's an okay item. There are blue items there's the Choice Scarf blue item that does give 6% speed boost, so not a great item, but I do want my Pokemon to be fast enough where it can kind of cut some of the damage dealers on the enemy team, whether it's PvE or PvP, just so that my team doesn't die and my Jirachi gets a heal off so that they can survive the second round of attacks. And the leftovers are on there just because when I was trying to open up slots, that's the only one that wasn't replaced. Kind of to go into more detail about that, opening up slots, there's 9 slots, it's all random chance. the more slots you have open, the less likely it is to open a new slot. The best way I do this and go about this is I stack up a lot of blue items, which are sometimes good, sometimes bad. There are a couple of them that are noticeably good, like the choice scarf. And I don't focus on what the item does specifically, but I just try and open up as many slots as possible. And then I'll even use purple items if I'm a little impatient, which is a bad thing, because purple items are even better, obviously, and they can be valuable. So I try to get 7-8 slots. I'd like all 9. There are definitely people that do open up all 9 slots, and it's a big notice between my Pokemon strength and their Pokemon strength. But to get 7 slots or so usually takes about 40 items to open up those slots. So you definitely don't want to use your valuable items. I would even aim for 70 blue items, purple items, just to be used as fodder to open up those slots, because it's going to make a difference. And then after I've kind of used all the items for fodder and opened up enough slots to put in the items that I kind of planned out on my Pokemon ahead of time, that, okay, I need this amount of slots because I want XYZ items on it. That's going to make this Pokemon the best that it can be. Then I put on the first 2 items that are the most important and most crucial to making the Pokemon work, and I use the item protectors. I usually don't use 3 items. I don't protect 3 items, just because every time you protect an item, the cost to protect the next one is increased. First one requires, I think, 1 item protector. Second one requires, I think, 3, so a total of 4. Item protectors are a little bit hard to come by. You mostly buy events or recharges. So item protectors are almost as rare as items themselves. Red items themselves, I should say. The next type of build that I want to go over is the damage build. I gave you guys a rough description of a tank build. I'll even talk about Lugia for a true tank build, but that was my hybrid build that I've been working on. For a crit damage, crit, Zygarde, Kyogre, physical or special damage dealer, these are the items that I've been using and have been finding success with. I've been opening up 6 slots for my Kyogre and Zygarde, not quite as many as I want because I want more support items on them. Not built as good as I think they could be, but for me to change it, it's going to cost me a lot of red items, which cost 3,000 crystals, or 125 blue items through the item recycler, and I don't think that's worth it because they're working now. Not perfect, but it's what I got. So what you're gonna want for these type of Pokemon is you're gonna want the Razor Claw and the Grip Claw. There are also a couple other blue and purple items. I think one's called the Scope Lens. I'm not quite sure about those. You guys can definitely look those up on your own. I personally don't use them. I've been using them as fodder just because the stats aren't as much, and I am able to use the red and orange items to get crit rate and crit damage up. So the Razor Claw increases crit by 12%, and the Grip Claw increases crit damage by 50%. Now, the next red item you're going to want is the Berserker Gene. Increases crit by 10% and crit damage by 60%. So the Berserker Gene is great because you need crit to do crit damage, and you want crit damage to do more damage. So it syncs really well with each other. Iron Zygarde and Kyogre and Groudon. Kyogre, Groudon do true damage, physical, or special, depending on which one, every time they crit. And Zygarde has a huge crit damage bonus as its passive. So then for a special attacker, you're again going to want the Magmortizer and the Deep Sea Tooth for its special attack. And for physical, you're going to want the Rocky Helmet and the Electrolyzer. Electrolyzer, again, 8% physical attack boost. But the really cool thing that I think is way better than the special attack version is every time it's attacked, it gains 5 SP. So it's awesome. Again, helps your Pokemon have more SP to do moves so that it doesn't get as many turn skip, but it also needs to be a little tanky. Finally, the last item on my Pokemon, again, is the Mystery Berry. Just because the SP so hard to get for Pokemon. If you get more SP regeneration than the enemy team, then you're going to take more turns, so you can heal more, or you can do more damage. Now, these aren't exact builds. There is definitely a little bit of variation. There's 3 slots that I'm missing for extra items. Notable mentions for those 3 slots. The evasion brace I have on my Zygarde because it heals every time it evades, and it gives it more accuracy. So that's cool. Another item that I think, like I mentioned, goes great on all Pokemon is the Adamant Orb. Some orange items are the protective pads, since Lugia is used in PvE and is widely used in PvP. It stops rebound damage, so Lugia's passive kind of becomes useless. I know a lot of people haven't put that on their Pokemon yet. I'm still just trying to get enough to put it on my Pokemon and make my team kind of disregard Lugia. Definitely pretty tough to do. You can buy it for 1,000 diamonds each or 1,200 diamonds each, but you're going to either lose an item, maybe a red item if you haven't protected all of them. So you kind of have to rework all your Pokemon's builds, and then on top of that, you then have to have enough blue and purple items to kind of build them up again. A couple other notable mentions is the Reaper Cloth works great for tanks and healers, percent chance to live. Focus Sash again, if they live on 1 HP, they can heal themselves up. Focus Sash, while at 1 HP, you can live multiple rounds. I like the Metronome a lot. Some meta people use Articuno, so the Burnt Berry works really well. These are just kind of suggestions based on what people are using for PvP. As far as PvE, as long as you get tanky enough and can deal enough damage, the specific berries to kind of negate the freezing, the paralyzing, the burns, so on and so forth, kind of are irrelevant just because the teams change so much that you would have to change out your Pokemon items, and you can't choose exactly which one's going to get replaced, so it's kind of tough to build your Pokemon to counter specific PvE teams. And so for a tank Pokemon, Lugia and Suicune I tend to build differently. Lugia, I give it some HP through the red feather. I want to say that's the Power Herb. Might be wrong, that might be the white one, which 100% recovers SP. A decent item, not one of my favorites, but if you don't have a Mystery Berry, you can slap that on your Pokemon and it helps with the SP problem. So I do the red feather, and then I just focus 100% on defense, physical, and special. Adamant Orb is a necessity. The Assault Vest and physical defense goggles, metal goggles, are a necessity as well. And then some other items you can toss on there are the orange variants of physical and special defense. Metronome, the Focus Sash is pretty common. Reaper Cloth is very common. The Burnt Berry, so that Lugia doesn't get frozen, so that I can use its Awakened skill to 100% heal, is pretty common. But these are just suggestions. If you guys have a Lugia that you haven't built yet, go ahead and try it. I do recommend getting its special and physical defense as high as possible. If you want to build a hybrid damage dealer tank Lugia so that it can use its physical or special skills to attack, go right ahead. I haven't seen anyone do that. Might be viable, might not. And then for Suicune, I am focusing 100% on HP, because the more damage it can take, the more HP damage it can take, the more it's going to heal my team. I try to get my Suicune to the point where its physical and special defense stats are decent, because if it's too tanky, then my attack dealers take more damage than Suicune is healing. Fine line to find. I still haven't perfectly found it, but I think that's how I would build Suicune, and that's currently how I'm trying to build Suicune. So these are kind of my tips to building your Pokemon. These are some of the general builds out in the community. Some builds that I am using and have found some success with. I hope it's a good guideline for you guys. But if you have any other crazy builds or recommendations or something you found out that is relevant or really anything, leave it in the comments. I'd love to read them. I'd love to test them and let you guys know how I think it goes. So thanks for listening this week, and I'll see you guys next week. Toasty Box is out.
What does love feel like? What does love feel like?